So this is my Rube Goldberg machine, and I call it tea time. And before the video starts, I'm going to say there's a marble in this tube that's being held by this little stick. There's a marble in this tube that's being held back by gravity because this is angled backwards. So okay, so when I put the cup down, it raises this lever which moves the stick out of the way of the marble. And when the marble rolls down this tube into this cup, which then falls off the table. And if you can see, there's a string here that comes all the way back, and it's tied around a cup in this triple cup stack that's holding up this tube. So when the marble goes into this cup and it falls off the table, it yanks this cup with it, which causes this part to fall down, and the golf ball is just for weight. Okay, and then what happens is, here, I'll rewind it a little bit. If you can see, this kind of triangular shaped object right here is actually on a lever that's attached to the end over here. So the fulcrum of this entire lever is right here. But as this lever falls, it lands on this cup down here, and the fulcrum gets transferred to this cup, which causes this triangle shape to move upwards. And then, as you see, it's in slow-mo, but it's not very slow because everything happens so fast. But as you can see, the triangle shape gets bumped upwards, which whacks the spoon, and it falls. It whacks the spoon that has sugar in it, and it falls into the tea. And I said, "Oh, this tea is bitter because it was bitter, but now the sugar from the spoon fell into the tea." And now, the marble that was in this tube, I think you can see it right there, falls out and rolls down the table into this cup, which swings down. And this string is attached to the end of this lever right here, which pulls it around, and then it says tea time, which is the name of what I called the machine. So it's tea time because I like tea, and it says tea time. It took me a really long time to make this, and I didn't know it was going to work. I had to do many different editions and many different revisions of this. So this lever right here didn't work all the time, so I had to add a tiny little piece of stick right there to keep it taut. This tube worked. This mechanism works very reliably. So the ball rolls into the cup, and this part doesn't work very reliably because sometimes there's too much friction on the table and on the tube for the ball to push the cup. But when the ball does push the cup, as in this video, it swings down and pulls one of these cups. So yeah, this tube used to be on the top, but I've realized that having it on the bottom is much more stable. And it's a nightmare to set up these cups because it keeps constantly wanting to fall down. And I added the golf ball so that it would have enough weight to push the lever, because the lever needs to travel a further distance, but to do that, it requires more force. So I needed some weight there. And there used to be a popsicle stick that went all the way across right here, but I had to cut off one end of it because it kept hitting the ground before, or hitting the table before this could properly engage. And then this cup right here, it's probably hard to see, but there's two little pieces of a skewer that come out of the end like that, so it kind of makes a funnel shape, or a reverse wedge. Well, it's two inclined planes, so that this lever right here stays on top of that cup when it's transferring the fulcrum. So then that triangle shape, which is just two popsicle sticks glued to the skewer, bumps the spoon. There's actually a popsicle stick under the spoon, and it's being suspended by string so that the spoon falls this way into the cup. Well, the cup's not there right now, because I had to. It's part of the video. And then this right here is a skewer glued to another skewer, which is glued to the table, but it's just hot glue, so I can pop it right off. So then the ball that comes out of this tube rolls down here and hits the cup and rolls into it to knock it off the table. But I've tested this a whole bunch of times, and a lot of the time the marble, which is what it is, would roll this way, like right here. If you can see, there's that little gap in the table. The ball would fall right into that little indent or gap and roll that way instead of into the cup. So I had to add this stack of skewers to stop the ball from rolling that way. So the marble goes down into the cup and swings, and the weight and the force of that swing pulls this lever, which it looks like it's at like a 90-degree angle, but this is really sticking straight this way, pretty much. And that force pulls the lever, which in turn swings, or it turns this shaft, I guess, or axle, which turns the sign, so from T to time, so it's tea time. So, in order, I'm not sure exactly if these all count, but this is a lever, because when I put the weight of the force of the cup, it gains a lot of mechanical advantage because the side of the lever, the input side is a lot longer than the output side, and the cup is really heavy, so there's a lot of force right here. And I'm not sure that that's exactly required, but I think it helps because I tried before and sometimes it wouldn't even lift the weight because of the weight of the marble. So anyway, we have an inclined plane right here because the marble rolls down into the cup, and when the cup slides down, the string goes around the edge of the table, so I think that might be considered a pulley. Like the force is redirected from straight down to 90 degrees to pull the cup. So anyway, the cup goes out, and this is a lever, I think. Yeah, it's a lever because it's going down and lifting this side up, which the action of lifting this side up propels the marble down the inclined plane. The lever doubles as an inclined plane. So the marble rolls down, but then as this is coming down, this skewer right here that's glued to this triangle shape lands on this cup, and there's a little joint right here where this part of the lever joins this part of the lever, so it hits the cup and goes up. So the fulcrum is transferred from this point to this point. And that action, as I said, or you saw, bumps, causes this triangle shape to go upwards, and it has a bunch of mechanical advantage as well. Or would it be the yeah, it has a negative mechanical advantage because this side of the lever is so much shorter than this side. So the force gained by gravity and the weight of this lever forces this side of the lever downwards over the cup, which forces this side upwards very quickly and a lot more distance. And then as the marble rolls down, the whole table is acting as an inclined plane, because, I mean, we put books under the legs to make it tilt that way. So it hits the cup, lands in the cup, and as the cup is falling, this may also act like a pulley, as the force is being directed from straight down to like 30 or 45 degrees up to here. And then this is a lever, because this is attached to this axle, so when you pull this lever back, like the cup and the string does, it turns the whole sign. So we have lever, inclined plane, maybe pulley, lever, inclined plane, lever, inclined plane, maybe pulley as the cup falls, and lever. So I've got quite a few simple machines and in a complicated string, and I actually have, if you look at it as this way, two end goals. One is to drop the spoonful of sugar into the tea, and the other is to spin the sign, which lets you know that it's ready. So it tells you that it's tea time.